To talk sports matters on CEMTV. Stay with us.
Sensational, absolutely sensational, and stadium is rocked. The All Blacks press forward with a driving run. White 5 for 3, it's good. A huge shot. The puck drops in this gold medal game.
So, promoter Eddie Hearn is open to a renegotiation of Anthony Joshua vs Tyson Fury contract if there's a beneficial reason for staging the fight in America. And in football, the Bafana, the boys of South Africa reached the knockout stage of the World Cup for the first time in their history by finishing second in Group A with a 1-0 victory over South Korea. Guillermo Ochoa appeared at a record 6th World Cup, and 17-year-old Gilberto Mora shown as the youngest player to start in the competition for 24 years. As co-host, Mexico eliminated Czech Republic with a third consecutive win in Group A, and 2 late goals, and Morocco a hard-fought 4-2 win against Haiti in the final World Cup Group C game, which saw them finish as runners-up. And just so you know, Scotland faced a nervous way to land their World Cup fate after they were beaten 3-0 by the Seleção of Brazil. Switzerland claimed top spot in Group B after silencing the home fans in Vancouver with a 2-1 victory over Canada. 8 countries so far have been eliminated from the tournament. About 13 have made it to the next round of the tournament. And with that, I say welcome to Sports 360 on CEMTV. I'm Danny Mino, the voice you trust standard mayor you probably need. They call me Rex Patrick the Locker, that homeboy that's never at home. I look around 247-365. I'm your host and guide. I'm not here alone today because Michel Dagogo is right here, a top sports pundit. He joins us today on Sports 360. Michel, it's a great time to have you back on this side.
Absolutely. A lovely morning to you, Patrick the Locker, and to all of our listeners. Of course, it promises to be an enterprising outing tonight. We will be, talking about a lot of topical issues, and I promise to be contributing to the absolute best of my knowledge.
Absolutely. That's a story. Okay, you guys, without much ado, let's start off already. For the want of time, we start off with boxing, where the maiden Southeast Amateur Boxing Championship, being hosted by Abia State, has kicked off at Umuahia Township Stadium with Chidebere Chukwuemeka of Abia State defeating his opponent Chigbo Agui of Ebonyi State. Also, Israel Ogbodo of Enugu State defeated Ayu Jonah of Imo State during a fierce encounter and was declared winner through a unanimous decision by the game's officials. Speaking at the opening ceremony, a board member, National Sports Commission (NSA), Bernard Nziama, said that the federal government, through the commission, is determined to discover and develop raw talents in boxing and other sports. Nziama, who said that all talents discovered from the Southeast Amateur Boxing Championship will be developed to become future stars. So Southeastern Nigeria thanked the Abia State government for its grassroots sports initiative. In the speeches, Abia State Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development Nwabilo Ananaba and Abia State Director of Sports Obioma George said the Amateur Boxing Championship was designed by the state government to discover and nurture hidden boxing stars in the region. Ananaba and George explained that Governor Alex Oti was interested in developing every sector of the sports in the state, adding that the championship will help Abia State and the Southeast at large to produce a new boxing king or new boxing kings in Nigeria. The state official noted that sports had become a powerful tool used by the state government to create employment, foster peace, and to discourage teenagers from deviant activities. The male and female categories of the boxing championship will continue today, Thursday. In another development, promoter Eddie Hearn is open to a renegotiation of Anthony Joshua vs Tyson Fury contract if there's a beneficial reason for staging the fight in America. Of course, we're counting down, looking forward to what these two guys have got in store. But Eddie Hearn has reiterated that Joshua has signed a deal, for a heavyweight clash against Fury, which stipulates that the bout must be staged in the United Kingdom. But Turki Al Sheikh, who is funding the British blockbuster bout, confirmed that a decision is yet to be made on the venue, and the US has emerged as the most likely location. No date or location for the bout has officially been confirmed, but Fury's promoter Frank Warren exclusively said earlier this week that he was adamant the bout would go ahead at some point in late 2026. Fury is set to return to the ring on August 1st in Dublin ahead of his meeting with Joshua, but is yet to reveal his opponent. Of course, Hearn also added that should a renegotiation be required, the terms of the contract would not delay the fight. Joshua will fight Albanian Christian Prenga on July 25th in Jeddah and declared earlier this month that he is stronger than ever. Eddie Hearn said that any contract talk would not contract Joshua from or distract Joshua from securing victory against Prenga. And in his words, he said he keeps himself out of the loop of it all and is focused for what's coming. So I don't know what to make of these. Michel Dagoro, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. The bouts would definitely take place this year, but then no date and venue for that very one.
Patrick, this fight has been long anticipated. A lot of boxing fans, boxing enthusiasts have been looking forward to this fight, and the closest it came was in 2021 when Fury defeated Deontay Wilder, and it was already everything was all gloom and gloom. They wanted to fight till an independent arbitration ordered Fury to have a rematch with Deontay. That was how he did not, and of course circumstances happened. Joshua now Fury, I beg your pardon, lost his heavyweight title to Usyk. Yeah, so that was how everything changed, and ever since then the fight has not seen the light of day. It's looking like it's going to happen this year, and it depends. In the end, categorically stated that for this fight to see the light of day, Joshua would have to beat Prenga, and Fury, who had a 13-month layoff, he came back. He was able to come out victorious against Aslanberg Makhmudov. And he said Fury will be fighting an opponent. We are yet to know the opponent, but we've known that Joshua will be fighting Prenga. And if both fighters, talking about Fury and Joshua, loses their bout against their opponents, then
what will become of them?
It might not happen, because that is the clause that is there. So I'm looking forward to see this fight, though there's nothing involved, just bragging rights, because both fighters don't really have
lots of money. There's a lot of money.
I agree with you. I agree with you. For Anthony Joshua, he is arguably the most marketable boxer. Everybody wants to fight him. And in as much as Alexander Usyk does have the bet in his kitty, Joshua seemed to have those box office fights, those pay-per-views, and that is why there seems to be a lot of interest when it comes to where the fight will be hosted. The municipality stadium is also being touted to host the fight. Not forgetting Wembley Stadium. When Joshua fought Daniel Dubois, of course, 98,000 fans were in the stadium. So much stakes is involved. Everybody wants to see this fight happen. But is it going to happen? I hope to see it happen, because for Anthony Joshua, considering what he faced, losing his two close friends in a ghastly motor accident, and coming back fighting the YouTuber, Jake Paul, and now I would like him to come back victorious and cover his face in glory. Initially, I thought what happened to him would make him leave boxing, but since he has that mental toughness and he wants to give it a shot, according to what he has said, he said he's fighting for his friends and brothers. So I hope to see Joshua on the victorious side if this fight sees the light of day. Patrick.
All right, interesting one right there. Well said, well analyzed. From there now, let's talk tennis, where leading tennis players will expand their prize money protest at Wimbledon despite a 20% increase in this year's pot. And of course, just so you know, some players limited pre-tournament media to 15 minutes at the recent French Open, but will go a step further at Wimbledon. They'll not only limit the time they offer at the forthcoming media weekend, but are also planning to restrict post-match appearances to 15 minutes throughout the first week of the championship, which starts on Monday. The 15 minutes limit is meant to symbolize the 15% of revenue which, broadly speaking, the Grand Slam allocates to prize money. Representatives of the players say the decision was taken following detailed consultation from or with players across both events. So in Paris, women's world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka cut short her pre-tournament press conference, while players like Yannick Sinner and Igor Swiatek also followed their walk to roll directive. But Novak Djokovic, who has regularly spoken out on behalf of players, is right, did not take part in the action. The All England club said it is surprised and disappointed by the move. Earlier this month, the players welcomed Wimbledon's 20% increase as a genuine and significant step forward. The players issued a statement describing the announcement as a meaningful statement of intent, while also pointing out it still does not equate to the 16% of tournament revenue they are requesting from all Grand Slams this very year. You know, the total prize fund at this year's championship will be £64.2 million, following the largest annual increase in events history. The singles champions will each take home £3.6 million, with the first round losers paid about £80,000. But the overall fund is still around £7 million, short of what the players had been hoping for. And so this controversy going into the Wimbledon, which starts on Monday, Michelle Dagogo, of course, we're looking forward to that very event. Wimbledon, a huge event, the players protesting and all, several top players also in the conversation for this one. It's really worrisome, yeah, going into this one. Players' welfare, you can't emphasize its importance, but when you have the organizers saying they are disappointed by this move, what does that really mean?
Well, they shouldn't be disappointed. Why do I say so? The players are the main actors. They bear the brunt in terms of, fatigue. Of course, like we know in football, there is what they call fixture congestion, and in tennis, there is also, schedule congestion. You see how the tournaments are piling up in the ATP, the WTAs, the Grand Slams, and the players do have a valid argument. They said the monies you guys, the Grand Slam organizers, are getting from sponsorships, from ticket sales, from pay-per-view and what have you. You can see that they are making enormous money, not commensurate to what they are getting. And like in the French Open, Roland Garros, they had to come up with an agreement, a consensus among themselves that they will be, making just a 15 minutes appearance when it comes to media interviews, to give to kind of replicate what they are giving to the 15% increase from their prize money. Aryna Sabalenka has been so outspoken. Yannick Sinner too has been talking tough. The players are saying that we are the main actors. We are the reason why you guys are making this enormous amount of resources. What you're giving us is paltry. And when it comes to tennis, it's an individual game, except in the doubles. Whatever you achieve, you face it. It's for your record, it's for your glory. And whatever finance these players are demanding for is not far-fetched, because they are the real actors in this sport. So they are saying that the 20% is not even okay. Wimbledon saw the protest they did during Roland Garros and have increased it to 20%. They are still saying they are not satisfied. Even Aryna Sabalenka openly said, this players should be taking more stringent measures, maybe by boycotting. She did not say it like boycotting, but with the way she spoke, she was not really happy. So it is what it is. They need more enumerations. They need their welfare to be prioritized, because tennis is a strenuous sport. It's even more strenuous than football. Football, I think so, because you see some games go 5 hours.
We've seen.
Does any football match go 5 hours? No. even with extra time, you can't go to, even with 90 minutes plus penalties, cannot go 5 hours. But tennis players, go 5 setters. We've seen 4 setters, and they need more improvement. So I don't think what they are asking for is too much. It's just for the organizers to come to a round table. Don't forget, Novak Djokovic was the president of the Players Council.
Yeah.
At some point, he stepped down. The players too, they need to come together, have a formidable organization, and have one voice in terms of placing their needs. In as much as tennis is an individual sport, aside when they are playing the doubles.
Yeah.
So I think the WTA, and one thing they are also saying is that the Grand Slams are even paying less than the WTA and the ATPs. The ATPs pay more. So the Grand Slams are making an enormous amount of money, and you guys are not giving us. Why? So Patrick, I don't think they are asking for too much.
Okay.
They need to be compensated well so that they can perform maximally.
Okay. All right. So yeah, well put. That's quite intriguing, I tell you, for the most part. I mean, welfare is key. The welfare of players is always key. I recall having a conversation that was sometime last year with Precious Achumo, an NBA player.
Yeah.
He talked about all of these. He says when it comes to contracts, renewals and all of that, that was sometime this time last year. He said, a player's contract is key. Like, this is when it's the only time you get to hold, the teams and all of that to ransom. Like, for the most part, because once you sign, you're in. So, players' welfare is really key, yeah? So, the organizers, Wimbledon, saying, that is appointed by the players move to boycott some press conferences or reduce the time and all of that. I think all they need to do is come to a consensus and ensure that they keep things running smoothly. Of course, interesting times, I tell you, for the most part. It's quite disheartening. Quite disheartening that this is happening at this material time. But I mean, from there, let's move on to football for the one of time, and we look at results from games played across different centers. At the Ongue Mundial in USA, Mexico, and Canada. We start off with South Africa. That's the boys. Yeah, the Bayana, if you like to say. Oh, the Bafana. Come on, Bafana. So, now they've reached the World Cup knockout rounds for the first time in their history, finishing second in Group A with a 1-0 victory over South Korea. It was a tense encounter. Tepelo Moseko netted a deserved winner in the 63rd minute of the encounter to set up a round of 32 tie with Canada on Sunday as their remarkable revival continued under manager Hugo Broos following their humbling 9-man defeat to Mexico in their opening game. Son Heung-min, who's known for always shining like a million star, came through. Son's difficult tournaments continued as he was benched for the first time in 13 World Cup games by South Korea boss Myung-Bo Hong, whose side failed to build on their victory over Czech Republic and now face a nerve-wracking wait to see if they qualify as one of the best third-placed teams. South Korea were unable to make their 68% ball possession count in Guadalupe, lacking a cutting edge as South Africa had more shots and recorded a higher expected goals on their way to earning a famous victory. Hyun-Min Son's World Cup has yet to ignite. South Korea's talisman, who's 33, has endured a difficult start to what is likely to be his fourth and final tournament, yet to have his moments like many of the game's big stars. So, Son was replaced in the 69th minute of their opening match by Hyung-gyu, who netted the winner and then lasted only 57 minutes in their defeat to Mexico. He had the fewest touches in South Korea's starters in both of those games, and manager Myung-Bo made the bold yet increasingly understandable decision to bench him against South Africa, ending a run of 12 consecutive World Cup starts. It's a problem right now, Michelle, for this side, South Korea. Son Heung-min, I mean, His days in the Premier League is shone like a million stars for Tottenham Hotspur. But since he left the Prem, there seems to be a drop in his performance and all of that expectation towards. And we're looking at the Mundial. He's yet to ignite. South Korea now needing to wait until the results elsewhere go their way to finish as one of the best top place teams in the tournament. Is there a possible chance for the side? Are they overly reliant on that man Son Heung-min?
Well, you cannot, look down on Son Heung-min with what he has been able to achieve for the South Korean, side, and is the Asian bride. He became one of the very first players to come to the English Premier League, following the footsteps of Ji-sung Park.
Yeah,
and at Tottenham Hotspur, where he was before he moved out, he covered his face in glory, which this is why he happens to be their most important player. Based on stats, based on achievements, and what have you. So most of the time, teams build their formations around their marquee players, and the onus is normally on them to deliver. So it's not far-fetched. Even the likes of Spain, we also had the fired blanks when Yamin Lamal did not play against Cabo Verde. You saw what happened. So it's just so unfortunate. Football sometimes can happen. The South Koreans started very well. In their very first game, they won. And, we were thinking that they would qualify. I never even expected that Bafana, would be making it for the very first time to the knockout stages, considering what happened, during the build-up to the tournament and in the tournament so far.
Yeah.
In the sense that, we saw how Rowan Williams, their goalkeeper, came out to decry the lack of support from the African continent, and we all knew or know what happened. The reported xenophobic attacks on Nigerians, particularly, and some other African
countries.
So that is why Africans did not support them. Even in their match against Mexico, we saw, Africans, black people putting on Mexico to win. So, and we only what happened where someone carrying the South African flag tumbled. I know people are saying that, don't worry, the gods are against them. However, when it comes to football, miracle can happen. And it happened. Because when I saw their spirited performance in their last match against, when they played the 1-1 draw against, they played the 1-1 draw coming into this game. I never expected that they would get a draw. And they missed their man, Tabo Mokwena. He was not there. The coach of the side, Hugo Bruce, had to tweak his formation 4-3-3. Since, Mokwena is not there, he got 2 yellow cards. And of course, what a time. For Hugo Bruce, he has made history for himself. He went to the World Cup as a player in 1986. And now, as a coach, he has written his name in the positive folklore of football history in South Africa. Being the first coach to take them to the knockout stages. Unprecedented. So it is what it is. They were able to defy the odds. And like I said, when it comes to football, you don't know where it's going to crack. So congratulations to the South Africans. For the South Koreans, it's just unfortunate for them. They no longer have their destiny in their hands. Looking for what will happen elsewhere might backfire. Okay. So it's not it's a 50-50 chance. If it's the qualifier as one of the best third place teams, good for them. But I really like the fact that they have really done so well, representing the Asian continent. 2-time champions when it comes to the Asian football, and what a time to also have them. They have a lot of players in their setup, so they can hope and pray.
One thing is to say your prayers, it's just another to do your homework. And with that, we will move on to another development where Guillermo Ochoa appeared at a record 6th World Cup, and 17-year-old Gilberto Mora shown as the youngest player to start in the competition for 24 years as co-host Mexico eliminated Czech Republic with a 3rd consecutive win in Group A. Of course, it was quite a cagey affair for the most part of that one. Mexico were, already through as group winners after beating South Africa. And South Korea both continued their feel-good factor with a 3-0 victory thanks to second-half goals from Mateo Chavez, Olian Quinones and of course Alvaro Fiodago in a party out atmosphere at Azteca Stadium. Yeah, Azteca Stadium. It was a night of celebration for Mexico, who could potentially meet England after the round of 32, and featured an historic substitute appearance from 40-year-old Ochoa, who joined Lionel Andres Messi Coutinho and Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro in featuring at a record 6th World Cup. The Mexicans keeping it real, Michel Dagogo. What a way to go about business.
Yeah, absolutely. They have done so well. As hosts, normally you do have that home support, that vociferous presence of your fans, which is always a factor. That 12th man. But we've seen host nations flatter to deceive. We've seen them capitulate. Even some host nations, they struggle to qualify from their group. But I think so far so good. The introduction of 48 teams at the World Cup has really made it worthwhile. At some point, I was not too happy about it. I was skeptical about it, but it has, because I was like, it will push some uneven nations, heavyweights against underdogs, and the scoreline might just be too much to bear. But what do I know? We've seen surprises, and for the host nations, USA, Mexico and Canada, what a time for them, unprecedented. 3 of them, for the very first time the World Cup is being co-hosted by 3 nations, have made it to the round of 32, and it's all good for them. For the Mexicans, 3 games played, 3 wins. They did have a sellable lead on top, and as it's looking like they are going to be making more euros, because sometimes when you host a tournament, and a lot of people might not really have that opportunity to go see the tournament, but when you progress, more fans, more interest, and it's looking like whosoever they meet, be it England, whosoever, they will give them a run for their money. Okay, now let's talk about some other results where 2 late goals and Morocco. It had fought 4-2 win against Haiti in their final World Cup Group C game, which saw them finish as runners-up. What do you make of that very encounter, Michel Dagogo? Haiti twice led in Atlanta, including a stunning hit from Sunderland's Wilson Isido. But were beaten later, by the 2022 semi-finalists. Interesting game it was of football. For the North African side, they've done really well for themselves at this tournament. Absolutely. The Atlas Lions of Morocco, they have done so well. And if there is any African team that I can beat my chest and nod my head, that will be going very far in the tournament, is Morocco. Because we also how they were able to hold the 5-time champions, record winners of the World Cup, Brazil. A stalemate. They played a 1-1 draw, and look at how they were able to beat Scotland. And against Haiti, coming from 2 goals down, tells you that they have that mental toughness, and they're also one of the teams that play good football. And Isidore, wonderful goal from him, and of course Akraf Hakimi scored. And one man that has really been doing so well for himself is Ismail Sabari.
Sabari has done well.
Sabari, he has scored 3 goals.
That's a record, equally Asamoah Gyan's record. As an African player to score 3 goals at the FIFA World Cup.
Absolutely. So the Moroccans, they don't really play like Africans. What really?
Are you saying Africans are not good enough? What does that even mean?
No. Africans are good. So, the thing is this: they are close to Spain, and the reason why they find themselves in Spain just because of some kind of somebody's boundary adjustment. If not, they would have been
in Europe.
And if you take a look at how they play, scintillating football, enterprising side, they have quality, and with what they are doing in terms of development in female football, you understand
all-round development. All round.
And this development all round, can be attributed to King Mohammed VI, who at some point in 2009 took it upon himself to, build stadiums across Saleh, different places in Morocco, Rabat, and also brought out the female team. Look at their women, for instance. 2 outings at the WAFCON, they are finished as runners-up. So it's just a matter of time. They might beat our record. So good luck for the Moroccan team, and also congratulations to the African teams that have made it to the knockout stages.
Okay, now in another development, for the one of time, before we leave here, let's tell you that Scotland face a nervous wait to end their World Cup 2026 fate after they were beaten 3-0 by the Seleção of Brazil. Steve Clarke's side knew a draw would guarantee qualification beyond the group stage at a major finals for the first time, but their mistakes were ruthlessly punished by 5-time winners to leave their hopes of progressing to the last 32 as one of the 8 best third place teams hanging by a thread. What do you make of this performance? Seleção of Brazil, you know, they were criticized after that first game against Morocco. And then now they were able to pick up their pieces. Vinicius Junior scoring and helping the side. Matheus Cunha was also on target. What's your assessment of the team's performance in less than 60 seconds?
Okay, you know, for the Seleção Brazil, expectation was really high, being that they're the record winners of the World Cup.
Yeah.
And when they drew against Morocco, like you mentioned, there was a very high level of skepticism about how far they can go.
Yeah.
But they have been able to, you know, disprove their critics and gotten that qualification. For Vinicius Junior, he happens to be the most important player in the team. 3 man of the match awards, you know, he's unprecedented.
Okay.
He has won all the matches they played. He was the man of the match, and it's looking like he is carrying, you know, the Brazilian team on his shoulders at a time where Neymar Jr. is still struggling with fitness issues.
Yeah.
I hope to see how they can fare. They are flattered to deceive in recent World Cups, and in as much as they don't have that intimidating squad like we used to know, they can also prove a point. They can go far.
All right. Okay, now let's also talk about Switzerland, who claimed top spot in Group B after silencing the home fans in Vancouver with a 2-1 victory over Canada. Of course, it was quite an interesting game, I tell you. Michel Dagogo, Switzerland keeping it real, finishing top of that very group. What do you make of it? And for Canada, they lost, yeah, but then, you know, there's hope. All right.
You know, the Swiss side, you know, when I watch them play, I've not seen too many of their matches. However, you know, from what some highlights I've seen, they're a proper setup.
Okay.
And for the Canadians, they came up against a superior position, and at this time, their fans, the vociferous presence of their fans, cannot help them. So, in as much as you have the backing of your fans, you know, there is a level to which they can, you know, help and kind of motivate you. So, they can still make it.
Okay.
You know, as one of the, you know, well-placed teams, maybe the third-place teams, depending on results elsewhere.
All right.
But I like the fact that, you know, the host teams are doing so well. And congratulations to Switzerland.
Okay, now Bosnia and Herzegovina, Morocco, Brazil, Switzerland, Canada, South Africa are the latest countries to qualify for the round of 32 stage at the ongoing Mundial. All right, right there in USA, Mexico, and Canada. Interestingly, we can't go any further. This is where we have to put a pin right here this morning. Been a great time with you. I tell you for free, you are the real MVP. Michel Dagogo, we hope to do this some other time.
Absolutely. It's always fun, you know, discussing with you, you know, reacting to topical issues, you know, towards the development of sports in Nigeria and all over the world. And I must really say, it's a privilege to be here.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Well. Be sure to follow CEMTV on all social media platforms, on X, Instagram, Threads, on YouTube, right, at CEMTVPLUS. I remember that name, the voice you trust and that mayor you probably need. They call me Rex Patrick, the locker. That homeboy that's never at home. I lock around 247-365. Close your door before you bath. Me person, no see you finish. For now, it's a wrap.
And now, time to talk sports matters on CEMTV.